What's good? What's good, my man in society? It is your host with the most, Shadowlog, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and are subscribed to the channel. It's absolutely free. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. Highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. Now, what I was asked about, and I seen actually that this is a pattern. um, since I've been on YouTube, right, what I consider social media, I see that people are infatuated or obsessed with snitch, the word snitch, throwing the word snitch out there, labeling people snitches, snitches, right? It seems to be, what people love to hear and talk about for some strange reason, right? The reason I say it's strange is because if people have no affiliation to no street organization or no criminal, enterprise, or the street life in general, what does it matter to you if people told or didn't tell or anything like of that matter, right? Because you are not a part of that life. So why do you choose to want to brand people that or humiliate people by labeling them that, um, like if it's beneath them, right? um, Now, I myself see snitch in a certain way, right? I believe that it's cowardly. I believe that everybody should own up to their own decision because nobody forces you to do nothing, right? You made the choice willingly. You participated willingly. This was all you. So why are you trying to blame other people to save your own ass is beyond me, right? It's something I could never understand. And that's not to keep it on no G code or nothing like that. That's just on a moral standpoint, like, bro, own up to your decisions. That's crazy. But anywho, to try to play the tough man role, and then they crack is crazy. Like, why are you playing the game, bro, if you're not gonna hang? Now, when it comes to snitches, right? I was told about a video of Wes Watson getting arrested, right? And if what he did in that video, do I consider it snitching, right? It's where he gets rolled up on by the police and is being detained, and he goes and says that the individual attacked him. Is that snitching? Yes, it is, right? You're not supposed to say anything. You're supposed to say, I want my lawyer. You talk to my lawyer, and that's it. You're not supposed to say nothing else. Now, people are like, nah, but this person attacked him. He was only defending himself, or, you know, um, you know, his life could have been in jeopardy. He was only, standing up for his. Like, yes, I understand all of that, right? But the thing is that in this life that you choose to be a part of, when it comes to the street world, right? It comes with rules and regulations, right? And you signed up for this. You willingly participated. You're involved in the madness, right? So now when somebody approaches you trying to take your life, then you can't go running and crying to the police, bro. You get me? Because you stirred all this shit up. You wanted to be a part of this. You wanted to play these reindeer games. So you don't get to go and now, point the finger at others, even if they are your ops or trying to take your wind. You're supposed to handle it yourself, right? I didn't see nothing. I don't know what you guys are talking about. And then you catch them on the rebound and get your paybacks. That's how it works. You get me? That's the understanding. Because if you are willing to talk to police officers, cooperate, and now, point the fingers, then how could this organization that you are a part of trust you? Now whenever anything happens, within the organization or incidents or anything like that, how do they know that you won't talk and turn and now point the finger at your own homies? So they can't trust you. You are unreliable now. So now that means that you're a liability. And liabilities gotta go, my boy. Because you're putting everybody in jeopardy now, whether, by them, losing their life or doing time, a lot of time. That is why it can't be done, even if it's your, opposition or individuals trying to, come at you. Because Wes Watson was talking all that gangster shit, saying, catch me and everything like that. So he wanted it, he was, asking for it, right? So now people approach him and now he wants to go and point the finger. It's like, bro, if you really want no funk, if you really want no pedo and none of this shit, then why are you talking shit and barking a good one then? You get what I'm saying? It's like you're putting up a facade, bro, and people, got nothing better to do that they will take you up on it. They will test you. You don't. And I know people always say that, why does everybody gang up on Wes? Why is everybody, against him? But he brings it upon himself. You know what I mean? He comes on here, he lies a lot. He talks a lot of shit, right? And acts like, he's big and bad. When evidence shows that he's not. You get what I'm saying? And people could be like, what does it matter? Let him live in his own delusion and stuff like that. Yes. But then when shit like this happens and now, he's crying and stuff like that, it's like, then don't cry then, when shit like that happens then. You know what I mean? We're merely breaking down the questions that subscribers have when it comes to, is that, considered, snitching? And yes, it is, because you're not supposed to say anything. You don't know anything. You don't even know that person. You don't even know what the hell they're talking about. That's what I'm saying. They have to talk to your lawyer. The best thing just to say is, talk to my lawyer. That's it. Nothing else has to come out of your mouth. You know what I mean? Because he's telling these guys, you guys seen the videos, like, he attacked me, and it's like, bro, why are you pleading your case to these police officers? They don't give a fuck. That's not their job, bro. They're just there to, their job is to go and arrest you and detain you, bro. Like, you telling them all this and that is not gonna change the what's gonna happen. Like, if all of a sudden these guys are gonna be like, oh, you know what, you're right, bro. Thanks for clearing the air, and then they're gonna leave. Like, bro, they were assigned to go get you. They are not the head honchos. They are merely following orders. So why are you pleading your case to these fucking nobodies? With no offense. You get what I'm saying? Now, if he's telling them this, imagine when he's sitting in the room with the detective alone. If he's willing to spill the beans out in the open with everybody around, and then even having the audacity to say, hey, but don't put this on camera, because he knows what he's doing is not righteous. And he feels like, since he's white and they're white, and he's an influencer, and with money and everything like that, that maybe they'll be starstruck and actually work with him, because the way he was working the situation is like, if these individuals would do him the favor because he is Wes Watson, like if they know who the fuck he is, people live in their own delusion. They let social media go straight to their heads. They think that they're somebody's now, right? And even if they are, to other people, bro, that means shit. It doesn't mean anything, They probably don't even like watching this, and that, you know what I mean? So to them, it's irrelevant, bro. I remember one time we were at a mall, and I guess there was these rock band that was there, right? And everybody was making a big deal, and then, the people I was with, right? One of them was like, hey, go. And I'm like, no, for what? I don't know who the fuck they are. Oh, they're this, and that. It doesn't mean anything to me, So to me, I could care less. Same with these individuals, right? If they don't know, then they can care less, bro. Your status is not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, if people that don't hear rap and they see like Ice Cube, they're not gonna be starstruck, I'm pretty sure, right? Because they don't even hear that genre of music, so they can care less. So these people clearly are full of themselves, right? So he brings all this shit upon himself, right? He's not humble, right? He's very arrogant, egotistic, narcissistic, grandiose for that matter, and lies a lot. Compulsive liar has been shown, to be lying, and it's like, there's consequences for the shit that you say, right? Like, you have freedom to say whatever the fuck you want, but at the same time, when shit, hits the fan and incidents crack off, then they'll be bitching, right? Because this is, the repercussions. There's repercussions for your actions. You can say it, right? But then don't be mad now when the shit comes your way. You know how to carry yourself, and that's just something that he doesn't know how to do. But yes, he snitched right off the bat, bro. Like, right at the beginning of the video, bro. He's not, and it wasn't by mistake, bro, because he said it like 100 times in that video, bro. Like, oh, he attacked me, and it's like, you're literally pointing the finger, bro. There's videos and stuff like that, bro. You don't gotta say shit. You know what I mean? They can look at the tape and judge for themselves and shit like that. Or your lawyer could uh, say that and fight and argue for you. Now people could say, well, that's stupid. If it's your lawyer and your lawyer telling you that, why can't you just say it or whatever? Um, and like I said, you are not so you're supposed to get the payback yourself. You're not supposed to send people to jail and shit like that, bro. Because then, like I said, how can the organization now trust you? You know what I mean? He could still get convicted or whatever when they check the cameras and shit like that, and they could decide for themselves what actually transpired. But you actually now putting the blame and filling in those gaps, bro. It's not the business. You get what I mean? And I get it. To some people, that's not gonna make any sense. That's stupid. And yes, I agree, right? But this life is not made to make sense, and there's contradiction, and it's stupid. To those who don't live the life, of course, it's gonna come off as strange and crazy and dumb and shit like that. But that's just how the game is. It's not made to make sense. It's not made to. It's not made for people to be happy or agree with it, right? The game is not here to satisfy you. This is the way it is, regardless of how people see it and how they feel about it. You can feel how you want and say what you want, right? But at the end of the day, it's not going to change nothing, and this is how it goes. So yes, it is snitching, right? So when people be like, "Well, I don't think that's snitching." See, but you're not a part of the streets, bro. So it's irrelevant. In the street, that is snitching. um, you know, I get it. He gets a lot of benefit of the doubt because he's Caucasian, right? And he has a lot of Caucasian supporters, right? They stick together. But at the end of the day, you gotta call facts for when they are, and bullshit when it's bullshit. Because a lot of people on here come and try to act like they're solid and never told, but truth of the matter is that a lot of these people, told, snitched, not to degrade them or to humiliate them or to downplay on them. Those are just the facts, bro. You get what I mean? Um, Now, there's no problem. Like if individuals want to ride off to the sunset and they grow up now and they want to leave all that shit behind, that's cool. But it's stupid when they snitch and then they still try to act gangster and still try to be in the mix and still try to stir up and kick up shit when it's like, bro, when shit really hit the fan, bro, you already showed your true colors, bro. So why are you trying now to act all gangster and shit like that, bro? When the push came to shove, you already folded like origami. You get me? That's why people get called out. It's not to try to degrade them or humiliate them or to downplay them, because at the end of the day, people on here are not even gang related, so it's irrelevant to them. Um, but at the same time, when individuals are still trying to act gangster, when they told, you get what I mean? Then you can't be mad when people are calling them out for their shit because it's just the truth. Can't be mad at the truth. Could only be mad at the people that want to play pretend and lie. I get it. People's favorite channels, they're big channels, and maybe individuals are entertaining but at the end of the day, bro, they're trying to pretend and act like if they're one way when they're not, because there's paperwork. And that's not individuals hating on them because of their channels are big and successful. It's just that these are the facts. They're trying to lie and say that they never told when they did. And you should be insulted that these individuals are trying to lie to you. For what reason, I have no idea. Because if they were just to say that they told, nobody would give a fuck. Because people aren't street related, so why should they care? But the fact that they're trying to lie to you about this shit, bro, when it's something so stupid like this, should say everything about the person's character. There's nothing to do with no G code and staying solid and, just from the moral aspects of things, just the reality of stuff. And overall, that's just my opinion. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Chat. We out.